Alrighty, to get us started with this project, we need to break our paper up into sections so that we can do a bunch of different letters like our artist Jasper Johns does. So we are going to fold our paper. The first fold is in half, like a book or a folder. So what I like to do is I do my best to line up my edges, I hold it, and then I go boop, whoop, boop. All right, and then we are going to fold this edge back to the middle, and then this edge back to the middle. So do your best to kind of line it up. You can kind of put your hand here to stop it. Whoop, whoop. So that's gonna kind of make like an M or a W, so you can kind of see it there. And now we're gonna open it back up and flatten it out. So we have 3 more folds to make. Here comes the hard folds. It's the long folds, okay? So we're gonna fold it in half, hot dog style. Do your best to line up. Whoop. And whoop. And then here comes the tricky part. This one's the hardest fold, is the folding it back. Folding it back in half like that. Whoop. Whoop. Flip it over. Fold it. Oop, you might have to karate chop it a little bit to get it to fold for you nicely. Whoop. Whoop. If it's not a perfect fold, that's a-okay. I don't expect perfection. But then we open it back up, and you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes across, and 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes down. Now you're going to need a pencil, and we are going to write our names, nice and big. So I'm gonna do Covart. All right, so my first box gets the first letter of my name. So nice and big, a C. And then for me, the next letter is an O, and then a V, and then an A. Now, we're gonna go down to the next row, but we're not gonna start over if your name has more than 4 letters, because my name has 6. So it goes C, O, V, A, R comes down here, and then a T. We're not just gonna leave all these other boxes blank. We are going to do some repetition. We're gonna do our name over again. So I'm gonna start again with my big C, O, V, A, R, T. Then I'm gonna start again down here in my next empty box, C, O, V, A. And if your name runs out of spaces, so like I can't finish my name, that's just fine. We just wanted some repetition of letters, and your name is the perfect thing for this project. Now to make our letters stand out, we are going to use those oil pastels that we had before. We're gonna pull those out, and we are going to trace every letter with a different color. Now, if I do this one in red, I can't do, oh, I pushed so hard I broke it. I can't do any other box that's touching that A in red. But I can jump up, and I think I might do that V up there in red. I gotta peel some of that paper off. So I can jump up here, and I can trace this one in red because it's not touching. And I can't do that V because it's touching, but I could do this A down here. All right, so we're gonna trace every single one of these with a color. You're gonna wanna make sure that you're pushing nice and hard so that it really, really shows up. And you'll see why in a moment. So I'm gonna finish tracing, and I'm gonna speed run through this for you, and then we're going to move on to the background. This is a 2-day project in class. Once you're done with your tracing, you've caught up to where we're gonna be done with the first day. If you wanna keep going beyond this and get it all done in one day, that's fine. But just know that we actually won't start the background until the next day. Alrighty, so for this next part, we have a little bit of prep we have to do before we actually get started, because we don't want to get paint on our tables. So I'm just going to use this green piece of paper. My friends, you got sent home your stuff in a yellow piece of paper. That'll work great. I'm just going to kind of put it underneath so that in case I paint off the edge, I won't get it on my table. You can also use newspaper or like a paper bag, that works too. But now what we're gonna do is we are going to paint with watercolors. Now, Mr. Brush, we've met him before. Remember, we have some rules with Mr. Brush. We don't pull his hair, we don't chew on him, and we definitely don't leave him in the water because he can't swim. So each one of our boxes is going to get its own color. And with watercolors, we gotta put the water on the color, okay? You're not dumping it, don't do that, okay? You are just gonna pick a color to paint the box that the letter's in. Now this one's purple, so I shouldn't pick purple. I think I'm gonna pick red. And I am just going to carefully, I like to trace around the outside of the box first to make sure that I'm not gonna go into another one, and then I come back for some more paint. And then you can paint right over your oil pastel, because your oil pastel doesn't like water. It rejects it. It's like, nuh-uh, you're not getting in here. So if you pushed hard enough, your color is still gonna show up nice and bright. If you didn't quite push hard enough, you can always go back and push on again with your oil pastel after your paint dries. But we're gonna do the whole box one color. And now just like with our oil pastels, we can't do the same color in the next box over, okay? So I can't do red because it touches there, or green because that letter's green. So I have to pick a different color. And what you might wanna do is if this is a little too wet, you might even wanna skip this one and come back to it after this is dry. So I think I'm actually gonna jump to that one. And this one is red, so I definitely can't do red again. I think I'm gonna do some purple. Remember, you get water on the paint, and then we trace around the outside to make sure we don't go outside of the box. And I need some more paint. And then we just paint, paint, paint. And we're gonna do this with every single box. Now, Mr. Brush does not like it when you push his hair like this. That ruins your brush and it hurts it, so be very careful. Just kind of hold it like a pencil and just carefully paint back and forth. You don't have to push too hard, all right? So I'm just gonna keep going and I'm gonna speed run this for you, but we're gonna paint every single box with a different color than what's already there and what's around it. So, here we go. Remember, just like before, when we switch colors, we need to make sure that we clean off our brush. We don't wanna mix our colors. So make sure that after you're done painting a box, Mr. Brush takes a bath, and then you can add new water to your next color. Remember, your painting's wet, so you might need to wait until after you're done with cleanup to take your picture to turn it in.